Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GossCars.com IACT Winter Warm-Up Series, presented by RKM Setup Shop, GossCars.com, and tonight by Goss Jeep, a brand new dealership opening up here just in the last couple of weeks, and we are celebrating that tonight with 100 laps at New Smyrna Speedway here in virtual New Smyrna, Florida. I am Nick Mumley, and joining me in the virtual broadcast booth here tonight is Michael Stridsberg. And Michael, we got 100 laps of hot and heavy action coming your way here this evening.
Indeed. Getting down to it here in the GossCars.com IACT season. This race number 6 out of 8. 100 laps, one set of tires, and a really close point battle, Nick. Just 3 points separating Bob Eldred and Logan Powers after last week's outing at Oxford Plains Speedway. So a lot can change hands this week, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. As you can see, our first heat race of the evening is lined up on pit road, getting ready to roll off. Heat races do count for points in the IACT series, and Michael, we are going to be talking about points quite a bit here as this season winds down. Just 3 races to go, and points are going to be at a premium here, starting right now in heat race number 1.
Indeed, heat races 10 to the winner, 8 for second, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down through the field. So chances to make up ground here, and our top 2 in points, both by random draw, are in this first of 3 12-lap heat races. Let's quickly take you through the field. On the pole, the 15 is Hayden Bushy back in action this week alongside the former NASCAR New Hampshire state champion Nathan Wenzel in the 03. The 92 of J.J. Goodby will go inside of row number 2. Alongside him, the 11 the strictly stock mini standout Jacob Roy. Then there is Casey Champion outside the current point leader Bob Eldred in the Mind Warp 13. Final row, Aiden Young, top 6-point man in the number 69, and then last week's winner and the number 2-point man, Logan Powers in the 31. So, Nick, we're coming to the green, and the shifting is going to start right here in the first race of the night.
Absolutely. It is going to get wild out there. 12 laps here for heat race number 1. Bushy and Wenzel lead them to the line. We are racing at New Smyrna Speedway.
And it is Nathan Wenzel getting the jump on the outside. Bushy's got a cattle call behind him. Jacob Roy trying to follow through on the outside. J.J. Goodby there. Look out, Roy sideways off of 4 and collects the field. Yellow's going to come out.
Caution flag is out on the speedway. Here you see Jacob Roy all tore up. J.J. Goodby as well. They did not complete a single lap before wadding them up on the front straightaway. And Michael, it looks like we might have damage to our point leader. Bob Eldred looks to be involved in this.
Indeed, as we'll take a look at what happened here off of turn 4. We'll check it again. It looked like Roy just lost it on his own. Yeah, sideways off of 4. Comes into the right rear of Goodby. Right into the path of Bob Eldred. Ooh, a hard hit here on the opening lap of heat race number 1.
Bob Eldred did not expect to have another car literally go down the front stretch on his roof on lap number 1 of the heat race. Not what our point leader needed to see, but Logan Powers was able to sneak his way out of that thing, it looks like. So that could be huge for the championship.
Indeed. You see Bob Eldred and J.J. Goodby both on pit road just trying to patch up what they can on their cars and get back out here, try and get some points and try and get some starting spots, because if this is your first time watching the GossCars.com IACT series, the feature is lined up straight up based on the heat race results. So the winner in this first of 3 heats will start on the pole, the second place finisher will start 4th, and so on. And Bob Eldred's been known to come from deep in the field, but he doesn't like to have to, and got to try and get some spots, get some points. We check here. Yes, he is still on pit road in that number 13 machine.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of damage to fix. Pretty heavy contact to the front end, and then, having the race car on your roof down the front stretch doesn't help things either. So I would be surprised if we see Eldred here back in this race. I would assume that his heat race is probably done here.
Well, we will find out. You saw from that long shot down the back straightaway some pretty good damage on the right front corner of the Casey Beatty machine as well. Beatty, a reigning champion and number 4 point man coming into this, stays out, but remains to see how that 45 will handle here in the coming laps.
Yep, another guy to keep an eye on, Aiden Young there, lining up on the inside of row number 3 in 5th position. He comes in 6th place. He's kind of the last guy that I think still has a real good shot to make a championship happen this year, but it's got to start with this heat race. Got to have a really good run here tonight at New Smyrna as we get back to green flag racing.
Indeed, Wenzel again with the jump after that lengthy caution. Logan Powers into second in the 31. Casey Beatty on the outside will look to take over the number 3 position, as the outside is the place to be. Is we're already getting down to it. Just 5 laps to go in this one.
Yep, 5 to go. Nate Wenzel still out in front. Logan Powers settling into second, and that's exactly what he needs to see right now, is a chance for the lead here to try to gain some points on Bob Eldred, possibly even take the point lead going into the feature here tonight. But Casey Beatty, even with all that damage, Michael, that car still looks like it's pretty sporty right now, running in 3rd and looking for more.
Indeed, it's going to come down to these 3 cars for the heat race win. It's a little hard to see with the typical first race tower glitch, but the 13 Eldred is still on pit road and on track as they come to 2 to go. Logan Powers trying to take the lead from the 03 of Wenzel. Would have to start last under the previous winner rule, but he knows that there's 2 potential points to get here, and he wants them.
Yeah, Powers made a swipe for the lead, couldn't quite get it, and then he kind of fell in the clutches of Beatty here. So coming around, 1 lap to go. It's all or nothing for these 3 drivers.
Nathan Wenzel sees them side by side, leaning on each other for the number 2 spot. That is what Wenzel may have needed. Powers by a nose gets second, and Bushy complete your top 4.
What a battle to the line in heat race number 1, as Nate Wenzel gets the win, holding off Logan Powers and Casey Beatty. And Michael, it is just about time for heat race number 2.
It is, as we got a quick look there at the results of heat number 1, our full field rundown. You can see Aiden Young in 5th, Jacob Roy 6th, JJ Goodboo, and Bob Eldred does not complete a lap. He means that the New Smyrna Speedway, again, it will be 12 laps. Winner will start on the outside pole of this week's 100-lap Goss Jeep main event. Nick, can you take us through the start?
Dave Weir will start from the first position on the racetrack in car number 21, the championship winning spotter there with Gabe Brown at 2025. He will start from the pole. To his outside, in the number 4 machine, Matt Smith rolls off from the outside of row number 1. Richie Murray from Seacock, Massachusetts will start from 3rd position. And to his outside, a guy who was really fast last week, that's Joey Israelson in car number 18. Starting in row number 3, we have the 32, that's Eric Steele. And to his outside, a 2-time winner on the IACT Winter Warm-Up Series in 2025. That's Ryan Kuhn in the 72. And, as he usually is, riding shotgun on the field for his heat race, that's the Goss Chevrolet number 04 Vermont, the AH Fence Company entry for Justin Prescott.
Yes, Justin Prescott has found himself on the wrong side of variance in the draw this season, but we will see what he can do with it as the green flag is out here in heat number 2. Matt Smith had the jump on the outside. Weir tries to come back at him, but it is Matt Smith in the not-so-naughty list, number 4 tonight, going to the early lead.
Smith using the top side to gain the advantage. Weir slides up the racetrack. Contact with Richie Murray. They're 3 wide down the front stretch as they gather it up. Ryan Kuhn's all the way up in the 4th groove down there in turn 1. He's going to lose some spots. Justin Prescott sliding that thing off of corner number 2. Now he's evened up with Kuhn for 5th position, but a big moment there and a good job by everybody to hold on to it.
Indeed, the big winner there was the 08 of Richie Murray, who you can see is now up to the 2nd spot. Richie Murray, feature winner this year, came in tonight 3rd in the standings, also looking to capitalize on Bob Eldred's misfortune, currently runs in 2nd. Behind him, they are still going at it for the number 5 position between Prescott and Kuhn.
Justin Prescott inside, Ryan Kuhn outside. Kuhn with the advantage off of turn 2 and down into turn 3. Kuhn's now going to take a look underneath Dave Weir, and he's going to pull even down the front stretch. So a good lap there for Ryan Kuhn. He gets out of his battle with Prescott, moves on forward, gets past Weir now, and is got his sights set for the front now, up to P4 with 8 laps to go for car 72.
Ryan Kuhn, the 2-time winner this year. Unlike some people, Nick, who put up the Christmas decorations before Halloween, Ryan is, I believe, determined to keep them going through St. Patrick's Day, but it is working for him as he is closing on the 18 of Joey Israelson, and you can see on your ticker that the 08 of Richie Murray is reeling in Matt Smith for the lead at the front. We will head up.
Let's take a look at the battle for the lead. That's the Chukrin Auto Parts Chevrolet for Richie Murray, right to the back bumper of the number 4 machine for Matt Smith. Murray takes a peek to the outside. Not a whole lot there. Smith able to drive away, trying to work it back in within a half a car length as they dive it back down into turn 1. There he is, right to the back bumper of Matt Smith once again. Battling for the lead. 5 laps to go. Murray's going to try to find a way around, and Matt Smith is going to try to hold him off and get the heat win.
As they go at it, Ryan Kuhn has taken over the 3rd spot from Joey Israelson, who tries to come back at him on the inside, but Kuhn has it. Kuhn, despite missing an event this year to go to New Smyrna Speed Week, still a top 5 point driver, trying to pull the masterful comeback. He's got 3 laps left in this one to try and reel in your front 2 as Richie Murray still all over the back bumper of Matt Smith.
Yeah, and I hear that Ryan Kuhn was down in New Smyrna doing some testing, trying to get himself ready for this race. Not at all. His trip had nothing to do with the real life speed weeks that was going on. As we have a change for the lead.
Richie Murray, the number 3 point man, gets to the top spot unofficially. That would put him outside pole for the main event and pick up 10 valuable points to close the gap on Eldred and Powers. Murray came into tonight 29 points out of the lead, but he is running strong here. Final time down the back straightaway.
Richie Murray's opened up the lead to about a car length and a half, 2 car lengths on Matt Smith in the 4. Off of turn number 4 they come. Richie Murray takes heat number 2. Then it's Matt Smith, Ryan Kuhn, Joey Israelson, Justin Prescott 5th, Eric Steele 6th, and Dave Weir rounds out the heat race lineup there in 7th.
Heat number 2 out of 3 in the books here. 1 more to go to set the starting field for tonight's Goss Jeep 100. We will get you the starting field in a minute. A couple of new drivers here, a couple of returning favorites, and some heavy hitters ready to do battle in the final 12-lap qualifying heat as you can see them getting staged on pit road.
Yep, heat race number 3 about ready to go. Michael, this one's looking pretty interesting here. You have Jason Ricker leading them to green in that 9 machine. How about you talk about the breakout star of the IACT season. Jason Ricker's had a great year competing for victories, running in the top 5. Didn't quite have the luck last week at Oxford, but he's looking for a good run tonight. To his outside, the former car owner for Scott Dragon the former crew chief for Scott Dragon, I should say, in the number 770, Harrison Ready Mix. I believe is that a Pontiac Grand Prix? My goodness. I would talk about a blast from the past there. That's Brock Rouse in the 70. To his inside, or to The inside of row 2 we go. That's where we'll find Thunder Road's Flying Tiger competitor Ty Delphia. And on the outside of him, making his IACT debut, it's the Strictly Mini, now Flying Tiger driver over at White Mountain Motorsports Park, Todd Darrington in the 57. Row 3, we find Reagan Parent in the 17 and the Squire Cup champion over at Thunder Road in 2024, Scott Dragon in the Premier Paving Chevrolet, and starting shotgun on the field tonight in heat race number 3 from White Mountain Motorsports Park. That's Kyle Goodboe in the 17 New Hampshire.
7 cars to set the rest of tonight's starting field for the Goss Jeep 100 at virtual new Smyrna Speedway. Jason Ricker in the 9, the 70 of Brock Rouse do a little rubbing at the line, but they are under green. Ricker with the brake to lead him into turn 1.
Jason Ricker away with the top spot. Rouse on the top side, looking to hold off Ty Delphia for P2. Looks like he might be able to do it as Rouse gets a good drive in. Problems for Kyle Goodboe. The field checks up on the inside lane. Goodboe was the last one in line, and he nearly put the 17 New Hampshire down pit road.
Great save to hold on to it for the 17 New Hampshire of Goodboe, but he will fall back to shotgun on the field. Up ahead of him, his fellow 17, Reagan Parent, on the inside of Darrington, who was sideways off of turn 4. Everybody able to hang on to it as Goodboe now trying to get back into it as well.
Goodboe just drove deep into turn number 1. Slides back a little bit off the corner as he fights side by side with Scott Dragon. Todd Darrington in his IACT debut there on the top side in the 57. He's starting to fall back a little bit as you see Goodboe's going to get by him, and Scott Dragon's going to take advantage as well. And Darrington's going to slide himself back to 7th position right here and maybe ride around just a little bit. As we go back up to 3rd, there is Ty Delphia looking for 2nd as he hunts down Brock Rouse.
Ty Delphia had the run of his IACT career last week at Oxford Plains Speedway with a top 5 finish, trying to hunt down the runner-up position here in heat number 3. You see Rouse dropping the left sides all the way below the yellow line, trying to get that car to turn. He has got the field bearing down on him. Delphia there. Here comes Parent and Goodboe as well in the matching 17s.
Yeah, trying to get that track position to start this race, such a big deal. Ty Delphia, Brock Rouse, they both know getting that start up inside the top 10 could be very, very crucial for them here tonight. But like you said, Michael, Goodboe, 17 New Hampshire, and then Reagan Parent behind him. Both of them are going to want those 2nd and 3rd spots as Ty Delphia continues to try to work over the 70 of Brock Rouse with just 5 laps to go.
And something I've been seeing, Nick, is they touch a little for this 2nd spot, but more and more cars, I saw Parent do it a couple laps ago, get a little high in turns 3 and 4 and kick it sideways or bounce off the wall. We saw it happen to Jacob Roy. We saw it happen to Todd Darrington. That might be something to keep an eye on, is who can actually hold it on that outside line off turn 4. As back to the action, Ty Delphia up to 2nd, and the freight train looking to sweep around the inside of Brock Rouse.
They almost got 3 wide there for a second. Delphia was ultimately able to get by with 3 laps to go now. Rouse in trouble on the outside lane. Goodboe is by. Now Parent's going to get by as well here. Will he clear him off 2? Not quite, but close enough. Going into turn 3, Rouse will settle back into 5th. Delphia now up to 2nd. Goodboe in 3rd. 2 laps to go. And up at the front, the guy we haven't talked about all heat race because he's driven away. It's Jason Ricker in the 9.
Ricker in the 9 is in his own zip code right now. Had his first IACT podium finish a couple of weeks ago. Trying to nail down the 3rd starting spot for tonight's main event. He is less than 1 lap away from doing so. Challenge for 2nd in the back of the pack, but Ricker's going to try and bring it home at the front.
Goodboe got into the wall there off of 2, going to eliminate any run that he had. Jason Ricker's going to come around and win heat race number 2, side-by-side photo finish at the line. Give it to Goodboe over Reagan Parent for 3rd. And a good run there from Ty Delphia as well will lock him in with a really solid top 10 starting position here tonight, Michael, as we move on to tonight's warm-up.
Indeed, as we'll take a quick look at the full results of heat number 3 before we get into this 5-minute warm-up to last time to do a little tweaking. Well, not on the setup, but a little tweaking to your driving style or anything else you want to work on before the main event. Again, one set of change tires tonight, and a whole lot of stamina for 100 laps around this half-mile track. And while we got a moment, Nick, I think it is time to tell people about the sponsor of tonight's event, Goss Jeep, which opened up a new dealership very recently up in the greater Burlington area, South Burlington. Goss has been a longtime dealer, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram. Some people don't realize Jeep is part of the same family of vehicles, and Goss has now decided to dedicate an entire store specifically to the historic Jeep that came along during World War II and has been helping people fuel adventure ever since, whether it's the newest version of the Jeep Wrangler JL, 2-door or 4-door, the Jeep Gladiator midsize pickup based on the same vehicle, the Jeep Renegade subcompact, the Jeep Grand Cherokee luxury crossover, the Wagoneer. They've got them all up at Goss Jeep. So make sure to visit gosscars.com or stop by over on Shelburne Road in South Burlington. And what do they say, Nick? Go, 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 Goss has got it.
Yes. Yeah, nothing cooler. I don't think there's anything cooler than strolling around town in one of them big Jeeps. Those are pretty cool, pretty cool cars. Very unique too. So yeah, go get yourself, go check out a Jeep down at the brand new Goss Jeep location down there.
And Nick, just quickly, just to tell you how retro and different these cars are. The Jeep Wrangler was the last U.S. vehicle to come with manual hand crank windows. It was just this model year that the Jeep Wrangler finally went to power-operated windows.
Man, there's something throwback about the crank windows. I like that.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, interesting. That's our car industry tidbit of the day for Michael. Thank you, Michael. But before we wrap up our warm-up here, we want to talk to you about RKM Setup Shop as well. You see Ryan Kuhn out there in the 72. He's out there somewhere. But he is the mastermind behind RKM Setup Shop. And really, they have put together one of the best programs in the entire iRacing setup industry. I mean, the proof is in the pudding right here. What you're watching on your screen tonight, what these drivers are racing with, are the RKM setups for New Smyrna Speedway. And all season long, we've been provided just wonderful setups from Ryan and his team over at RKM. And they're about as good as it gets. I mean, you can go on for anything that you really want to drive in iRacing. They have a setup for it, and they will put you that much further ahead of your competition in iRacing. So if you want to get out there and take your iRacing game to the next level, start putting yourself in victory lane, Michael, there's nothing more frustrating, more of a waste of time than getting into a virtual race car and not winning the race, right? Nobody wants to run sixth in an iRace. You want to go out there and win the thing. So if you're serious about going and doing that, go get yourself a subscription to RKM Setup Shop, and you'll see tonight these cars are going to run really, really good around New Smyrna Speedway, and it's RKM Setup Shop. That's the secret to IACT.
For sure. And Ryan Kuhn knows how to set him up because he knows how to drive, and one of the top 5 iRacing drivers in the world. And he puts his money where his mouth is and helps other people get faster. And we've had some really great racing all season here on the GossCars.com IACT Racing, thanks in no small part to the 72 of Ryan Kuhn and his RKM setups.
Absolutely. So we're getting down to it here, Michael. About to get going. And this Goss Jeep 100 here tonight at New Smyrna, it's going to be a lot of fun because this track promotes really good racing. And this is going to be a dash to the finish. No 125, 150 lap distance. This one's going to be quicker, a shorter race, and I think it's going to really ramp up the intensity.
Yeah, I mean, the track is a half mile, one of the longer tracks we go on, but it is a fast half mile, that's for sure. The track was most recently paved in 2007, so it's not like we're on 50-year-old asphalt just trying to find something. You can pick up some real speed here and get it rolling. And you do have that set of change tires, but who knows if you even get a chance to use it the way things can get rolling here.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go through our starting lineup for tonight's race. As you can see here on your screen, starting from the pole in the number 03 machine, it's going to be Nate Wenzel in the Wenzel Racing 03, and to his outside, Richie Murray in the 08. In row 2, you've got Jason Ricker, the tech man over at Oxford Plains Speedway, and he will roll off from P3 tonight in the number 9, and Logan Powers, last week's winner at Oxford, will roll off from 4th.
Post position number 5 is the 4 of Matt Smith, former Rookie of the Year in the late models at the Thunder Road Speedbowl. Alongside him, Ty Delphia, the Flying Tiger standout in the number 13. 7th is your reigning GossCars.com IECT champion, Casey Beatty in the 45. And alongside, scheduled to go with him, Ryan Kuhn in the 72, the former Pass North champion.
Kyle Goodboe will roll off 9th, the former White Mountain Rookie of the Year in the late models. He'll start from 9th tonight. And another White Mountain youngster, Hayden Bushy, will start from 10th. Joey Israelson from Oxford Plains Speedway will start 11th tonight. And from Southern New England, Reagan Parent will roll off 12th in the 17.
13th post position is the 13 of Aiden Young, the number 69, top 6 driver in the standings. Then Justin Prescott, former Thunder Road late model winner in the 04 machine. Brock Rouse, the former ACT crew chief in the Harrison number 70. And then the 16 of Jacob Roy in car number 11.
Starting 17th will be Eric Steele. Scott Dragon rolls off 18th. JJ Goodboe 19th in the 92. Dave Weir in the 21 will start 20th. Todd Darrington will roll off 21st in the 57. Bob Eldred, the points leader, coming in. He will roll off 22nd tonight from last on the starting grid. Eldred's going to have a lot of work to do. They're coming to green.
They are, and we will note, Logan Powers and Ryan Kuhn did take the rear. Logan Powers as the last week's winner, and Ryan Kuhn as the multi-time winner. Meantime, at the front, Richie Murray, no such obstacle tonight, and he rolls to the lead off of the outside as we see Hayden Bushy in trouble in the back.
Yeah, Bushy catches the wall there as Murray takes the lead. Richie Murray looking to get into that multiple-time winners going to the back to start the race's deal there. But for now, he has started off this race hot on the 08 machine. Nate Wenzel second. And how about Ty Delphia up to third here in the early going?
Delphia running strong in the third spot. We're watching them battle in the back half of the top 10. Reagan Parent, the 17, tries to swap lanes. Can't quite hold it. Up ahead, we got a challenge for the number 5 spot. The reigning champion, Casey Beatty, trying to mount the come-from-behind bid for this year's title on the inside of Matt Smith. Kyle Goodboe looking him over in the 17 New Hampshire.
Goodboe going low, trying to get around Matt Smith as Beatty completes the pass. Smith struggling a little bit on the top side to begin this race. Looks like the bottom is the place to be right now. As you see Goodboe right down at the bottom. Smith goes for the crossover, thinks better of it as he tucks back in here on lap number 5. And you see a battle for second might be forming up here as Ty Delphia continues his charge to the front.
Delphia putting the heat on the 03 of Nathan Wenzel, the former NASCAR New Hampshire state champion in the 13, holding on the Simon Cube 03, I should say. It's the 13 of Delphia, working him over once again. So far, Wenzel has him covered, though, as the 9 of Jason Ricker looks to close in.
Yeah, Wenzel holding the spot for now. Ricker, Beatty, Goodboe all going to be looking to get up into that front pack. But Ty Delphia having the, coming off of a great run last week at Oxford, looking to double up on that and make a move here for second as he slides high. That's going to open the door for Jason Ricker. And here comes Ricker, Beatty, and all the rest into turn number 3.
Looked like Delphia tried to make a move on the high line, but the car did not stick and had to back off and regroup. Able to hold off those drivers so far. And we're going to take a look back in the middle of the field, Nick. where our top 2 point drivers are sitting in the 14th and 15th position. Caution, though, on the speedway on lap number 9.
Caution flag is out for the first time tonight, as you saw there. Kuhn and Powers and Bob Eldred all running together. It looks like Todd Darrington might have been involved in this first caution. Darrington making his IACT debut here in race number 6 of the 2025 season. We'll take a look back here, see if we can't find out what happened.
Indeed. Yep. Looks like Darrington gets into the back of Weir and almost had it saved, but not quite.
That was kind of like Carson Hocevar and Ryan Blaney last night. He was he zigged when the other guy zagged.
Those things can happen at high speeds, and bottom line is the caution back out. I should say out for the first time. We did have one in the heat race, but this is the first caution of the Goss Jeep 100.
Yep, so the caution is out here. Richie Murray is your race leader after getting the good jump on Nate Wenzel on the initial start of this race. Ty Delphia running third, and then you see a contingent of drivers that are all hungry for wins here on IACT. You got you have Jason Ricker, who's been so strong as of late. Casey Beatty trying to get things back on track and stay in the championship chase for his title defense, and Kyle Goodboe back there as well, who's also had some really strong runs. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can get going here on this restart. But I'm telling you right now, judging from the way this race has begun, I think Richie Murray is going to be tough to beat today.
He is definitely fast, but crazy things happen. Could be someone could try something on pit strategy. A lot to develop over the final 91 laps, and I'll just finish up my note, Nick, here on the 13 of Eldred and the 31 Powers. Unofficially, following heat race action, Logan Powers with the points lead by 4 over Eldred. 2 points per position in the feature with a 5-point bonus for winning the event. So, obviously Eldred stubbed his toe in the heat, but still a lot can happen here in the main event here at New Smyrna.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Powers taking that provisional or taking the EOL, I mean, it kind of makes it a net zero for Bob Eldred. So we'll see how that plays out as we go back to green flag racing.
Richie Murray again with a great jump in that 08 machine. Wenzel settles into second, but they are in pace lap formation behind him. Jason Ricker working the outside of Ty Delphia. Casey Beatty waiting to see which lane goes here as they come off turn 2.
Side-by-side fight for third, and they make contact again here. Ricker on the top, Delphia on the bottom. They've swapped paint a couple of times as they continue to fight side-by-side, but Ricker might be making some ground up there on the top side. You see some drivers making the move up there already here, just 12 laps in. We saw that top side was not the place to be early on in this thing, but just 12 laps in, we got drivers already migrating up there, trying to find some more grip here around New Smyrna.
Indeed, Casey Beatty, now the next one to give it a go. Draws a bead on the 13 Adelphia off of turn 2. Mostly single file behind him, but Adelphia holding on that outside. Beatty, though, with a bit of drive off of turn 4, puts the nose up.
You see a lot of guys, at the very least, running the middle lane right now. Nobody is tires on the white line at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see how the line changes throughout this race. Will it be bottom dominant like it was? Will that bottom come back in? Will the top become dominant? Will we see two equal grooves as this race progresses? Still very early, still 85 laps to go here, but it's going to be interesting to see how the lines change throughout this race.
As we say that, the heavy hitters working their way through. We saw Eldred up to 12th on the outside. Now he peaks to the inside on Brock Rouse for 11th. Ryan Kuhn with a bit of internet flicker there, but he's now going to go to the inside of Eldred, trying to work his way through the field. Logan Powers watching it unfold in front of him, and we are going to take a look here inside with Logan Powers as he watches his fellow high point drivers fight it out.
Yeah, and Ryan Kuhn needs everything he can get As this season progresses here, he's still 35 points out of the lead, missing that race, and he had another bad race earlier on in the year as well. 2 races in, I thought that it was going to be a runaway for Ryan Kuhn, but the season has not gone as planned in the next 4 races for him. Back up to second last week at Oxford, but as of right now, Ryan Kuhn really needs to get things going and have himself a good run.
Indeed, he's got to get those sleigh bells jingling, and he's trying on the inside of Bob Eldred, not able to get enough forward drive off the corner. Right as I say that, he may have him. Not quite. Eldred keeps the nose up inside of him and holds on for now, but Kuhn going to seal it off of turn 2.
And Eldred's going to slide that thing back down to the bottom and try to keep up with that position. Now they just swap lanes effectively, and Eldred's going to work the inside while Kuhn works the outside. You wonder here, can one of them use the 70 car of Brock Rouse as a pick to fully clear the other one?
That's what they're going to try to do, and here comes Kuhn to the outside. Up ahead, we're going to take a quick look, Nick, as the 13 Adelphia is starting to fall back through the field as he slides behind the 18 of Joey Israelson, who picks up the number 7 spot. Delphi, after running strong early, is back up down to 8th.
Yeah, Delphi is sliding back here. The way that the inside lane kind of fell off there has not played to his advantage here on this second green flag run. So he's slid back a little bit while Murray still leads the way up at the front, and it's not really close right now. Nate Wenzel 0.4 of a second back as we look back with our point leaders. Maybe some contact there with the wall as Eldred gets high off the corner. Both these guys trying to get themselves around Ryan Kuhn, or at the very least stay in contact with him.
Kuhn has finally been able to drive around the 70 of Brock Rouse, doing it the hard way. Bob Eldred, Logan Powers will now try to do the same and keep pace. Kuhn up to 11th. Oh, they swap some sheet metal off of turn 2, and Eldred has to back out. May lose a few spots here as Powers tries to shoot the gap on the inside.
Wow, what a save there from Eldred. He had that thing headed straight for the wall, but kept it out of it, and really kind of regroups here. Only he's going to lose 1 spot, really. I mean, if you want to consider it. But here he comes back underneath. What a power move underneath Logan Powers. Up in front of Logan Powers, underneath Brock Rouse. Roughs him up a little bit. They swap more paint down the front straightaway. And back into turn 1. Eldred is going to be able to take this spot. Maybe, maybe not, as Rouse fights back topside. We got a full-on side-by-side fight here just outside the top 10.
Yeah, definitely some full contact racing throughout the field tonight at New Smyrna, Nick. So far, for the most part, people able to hold it together, but not afraid to get physical, these drivers are, even in the early stages of this one. Rouse, though, starting to fade now as Powers goes underneath him, and Eric Steele trying to do the same.
Eric Steele working his way underneath. As you see here is back to Bob Eldred running in the 12th position. Ryan Kuhn, meanwhile, is making his way up through the field. He's all the way up to 9th. You see him getting past Ty Delphia there, putting a buffer in between him and the other championship cars. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for the RKM number 72. As he works on Reagan Parent, this is the battle for 8th here on lap number 30.
30% of the way through the Goss Jeep 100. Things seem to have settled down a bit, Nick. So let's go through the field quickly. Richie Murray, the 08, holding a steady lead at the front over the 03 of Wenzel. Casey Beatty, on his tail, has not yet been able to do anything with him. Then it's Goodboe in 4th, and the caution is out here on lap 32 of this one.
Well, we jinxed it by going through the field.
That's all it needed to happen.
I guess so. So the second caution flag flies here on lap number 31 of 100. And Brock Rouse, we saw him back there
here
trading some paint, and he has some damage now on the 70 machine.
We'll take a look and see if we can decipher what happened here. Nick, what do you see?
It looks like two guys kind of going for the same real estate. Rouse might have been coming down a little bit. 92 might have been coming up. They go around. Oh, is he going to tag Scott Dragon? He got right through that. Nice job by Scott Dragon.
Former driver.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Scott Dragon avoiding the carnage there in the Zero Machine. So we'll see. Is it too early to pit, do you think?
I think if you're at the front, it's too early. Maybe we could see somebody in the back of the field, but we're taking a look down pit road, and so far, no takers, Nick. Yes, everyone's decided it's a little too early.
Yeah, that's not shocking to me. But I think we're, if we have a caution 10, 15 laps, we're going to see a busy pit road, especially at the back of the field. Track position has proved itself to be vital early on in this thing. You're not just going to drive from the back to the front. And like I said, I mean, this is a quick race here. We're already, 30% in. You can't risk, being stuck in track position and having a green flag run and just settling with a 12th place finish if you're, one of the top points guys right now.
And only the top three places pay money too. 50 for first, 30 for second, 20 for third. So you need all the points you get, and you want to get yourself into a money-paying position too. So sometimes you got to do something different if you want to make that happen. As we have doubled up for the restart, the 08 of Richie Murray choosing the outside as we get ready to go back racing.
Murray on the outside, the black and green 08, the white 03 of Nate Wenzel on the inside. Murray gets a tremendous jump once again and is off with the lead, but Kyle Goodboe there on the top side looking to surge through to second, and he might just have it into turn 3.
He does, as Wenzel wasn't able to get up to the top like on the last restart, surrenders that position. Casey Beatty, a bit of the loser there, falls back to fourth. He is going to try and make up for it. Pokes the nose to the inside of Wenzel, but nothing doing that time.
And Joey Israelson having another good run here in the 18 machine. Was running real good last week at Oxford, led a ton of laps, ultimately did not work out in his favor, trying to change the way this race finishes. He's up into the top 5 as well. As you see, the battle right around 10th right now, getting hot and heavy as Bob Eldred making some ground on the top side on this restart.
Trying to follow Ty Delphia around the outside of Matt Smith. And Nick, I also in that wide shot saw some damage to the right front of Logan Powers' machine, so we'll have to keep an eye on the point leader and see how that develops. Right now, Eldred with nowhere to go. We got side-by-side battle for third up in front of him as well.
Beatty has finally gotten that thing even with Wenzel. Maybe a little bit of contact there into turn number 1. Back they go, and Beatty can't quite clear him. They race hard into turn number 3. Beatty wants that spot, knows he's going to go get it if he wants to win. Oh, and Wenzel pounds the wall on turn number 4. Beatty gets the spot, and Wenzel falling backwards now. Israelson underneath him for 4th.
Joey Israelson in the 18, trying to find the silver pathway around the 03 of Wenzel, was strong early last week, strong early again in this one. They duke it out. The 17 of Reagan Parent right behind him, along with the 9 of Ricker, who fell back from running the top 3 early, trying to regroup here, as the 03 of Wenzel looks like is going to hold on to the spot for now.
Yeah, Wenzel did a good job there to maintain that position, settle back in. He hit the wall a ton there off of turn number 4. And really had to, that's a tough spot as you see. Oh, there's trouble behind Logan Powers here. I don't know if we'll see a caution. It looks like everybody kept it straight, but Eric Steele nearly went around there. And you see, made a little bit of contact with another one of our championship contenders, Aiden Young in the 69.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a quick look at what happened there, because it looked like it was coming undone in a hurry off of turn 4. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, just lost control of the car. Aiden Young, nowhere to go for him, but a good job by those drivers to keep it straight, keep us under green, and now you see Eric Steele bringing it down for a green flag service on the number 32 machine as Richie Murray, this time though, Michael, not quite driving away like he was on the earlier run.
Kyle Goodboe had some rough races this year, but rebounded, got a podium a couple weeks ago. and now is going for the lead as Murray got loose off a turn 2, and maybe all Kyle Goodboe needed. Too close to call at the line that time, maybe Murray, but Kyle Goodboe, the youngster in the RSB chassis machine, trying to take over the top spot in New Smyrna. And as they fight side by side, Nick, the reigning champion, closing in.
Yeah, Richie Murray caught the wall there when we saw that car get out from underneath him there, and he might have caught it again right there. That was super close, but they're side by side, and while they race side by side, Casey Beatty is licking his chops in the 45 Polson Lumber Ford Mustang. He is up to third, gotten by Nate Wenzel there earlier, and then a little bit more contact. Goodboe gets by, and Beatty trying to strike for second, but Murray slides down in front. Murray now down to the bottom. They'll swap roles here in the 08 and 17, and maybe a little bit of contact there. Both cars loose in the corner, but for now, Kyle Goodboe, the new race leader of the Goss Jeep 100.
Indeed, and Murray got really close to the wall again there. The new Smyrna stripe is out in force in this one. As Murray falls back to second, Casey Beatty will now try and work him over in third. Behind him, Nick will check back in. Really close from fourth on back as well as Nate Wenzel leads this cavalcade of cars. You see Ryan Kuhn in the background looking to pick up another spot inside of Philadelphia.
Well, Ryan Kuhn, that restart was not super kind to him, but he's worked his way back up through, back into the top 10 here. Bob Eldred now following him as Philadelphia, who ran strong in his qualifier, ran strong early in this race, has kind of slipped back, and you see Nate Wenzel now really starting to give up some spots as well. Israelson's gotten by, so has Reagan Parent, and now contact with Jason Ricker as Ricker tries to make the move as well into turn number 3.
Indeed. Something may have happened to Wenzel. We'll go back if we get the chance, but right now they're still side by side. Wenzel all out of sorts on the outside. Ricker and Kuhn fly underneath him, and they're thinking 3 deep into turn 3. Nathan Wenzel hanging on by the skin of his teeth now in that 03 machine.
And Bob Eldred's like, okay, but please don't get in my way here. He slides it down onto the inside. Philadelphia thought about making it 3 wide a lap ago. Man, that 03 of Wenzel just cannot keep it going in the same direction right now. He is having all sorts of trouble behind the wheel of that machine. Deep backslide here for car number 03 is Eldred, one of the championship leaders, tries to get underneath. This is the battle for position number 8 on the racetrack as we reach our halfway point in the Goss Jeep 100.
Indeed. Well, it's calmed down here. We're going to see if we can go back and figure out what happened to Wenzel here to cause this. Oh, yeah, a little contact between him and Israelson sent him way out, and
Nice
that's
job
what
to hold
opened the
on.
door for the field to fly past him.
Yeah, good job holding on to that car for Nate Wenzel. He's got a handful right now. Once you upset one of these things, getting the big thing about driving these late models is, getting them into a rhythm. Once you get them upset out of that rhythm, both it's harder for you as a driver and for your car to kind of settle back in and continue going at the pace that you were.
And we can see on our ticker that Casey Beatty has taken over the number 2 spot here. As we go, we'll see if we can quickly take a look at what happened, at how he did it. Got to the inside. Murray bounces off the turn 4 wall again, Nick.
Yeah, earlier on, I'm saying Richie Murray had the car to beat in this race, and I think he did, but he might have beaten it up a little bit too much. Halfway point, and Murray's been in the wall 3-4 times in the
fast repair or something to try and set that car right again. In the meantime, Casey Beatty all over the back bumper of Kyle Goodboe for the lead as they are closing up on a lap car. Nick, we're gone inside now with Casey Beatty as he works over the leader.
Yeah, Beatty trying to stay as close as he can. Don't want to get into the back of the 17 here, but you want to be right there where it's impossible for him to recover if he makes one single bobble. You see now Beatty with that high entry. He's going to try to get it right down to the white line or the yellow line there to get that run down the back straightaway, and he does. That's going to open up the inside lane there, but can he get it to hold? It's so tough on corner exit. The track gets so tight, you run out of room really quickly, and so often we see it just like that. Beatty has to settle back in wait a few laps, wind up some momentum, and try it again.
Probably also saw him closing up on the 15 of Bushy, who goes way to the top and lets our top 3 through. As he gets it rolling again, we'll head back here to the 4th through 6th position. Joey Israelson holding on to that 4th spot in the 18. Reagan Parent on the high side in 5th. And then Ryan Kuhn, a beautiful sight. He is happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland past him into the 5th position.
Yeah, Kuhn up into the top 5. It took him 60 laps to get there, but he has made it into a top 5 position. Now Ryan Kuhn, 3 seconds off the pace of the lead. Going to need a yellow flag here, certainly, to have a shot at the win here tonight. But nonetheless, this is the type of points day that Kuhn needed with Bob Eldred sitting back there in 8th, Logan Powers in 10th. Not going to have a huge points day as things run right now, but putting him in a spot where it puts more pressure on the 13 and 31 than it does him.
And sweeps under the 18 of Israelson. As you were talking, to go to the 4th spot, Ryan Kuhn-Claus is coming to town, trying to close in on the top 3 as we head back up there. Casey Beatty still working on the 17 of Goodboot, trying to find a way around him as we are almost to the 2/3 mark of this race, Nick.
Yeah, and that's exactly, what has a chance to happen here at New Smyrna. You can go on a long green flag run, and all of a sudden your tires are screaming for mercy. You need four fresh sneakers on that thing, and it is you're trying to hang on to it, but if there's no caution, there's no caution. We still have 35 laps to go in this thing, so it's going to be interesting to see here as Beatty, we talked about it, he had to wind the thing up, make another run at it, tries to get him there, and a little bit of contact, gets into the left front of the 17 and takes the lead away. Dirty, clean, doesn't matter. Casey Beatty back on top.
A little hustle and a little bit of muscle puts Casey Beatty on the point in this one. Richie Murray trying to take advantage. They swap some vinyl as Murray goes back to the number 2 spot. Kyle Goodboot not feeling very comfortable at the moment in the 17. He's going to have to try and reset here as we reach lap number 67 in the Goss Jeep 100.
And while all these guys battle it out, just on the off chance that we stay green here, check out the 72 car in 4th position. Just a couple laps ago, we were talking, he's 3 seconds back. Got a long way to go. Now he's cut that number down to 2 seconds. So Kuhn is driving up through the field. How much of that was the leaders, swapping hands? How much of that is Ryan Kuhn just letting that thing loose right now, trying to make a run up to the front of the pack? We got 30 laps here to find out.
Well, looking at our lap board last time around, your leader, Casey Beatty, ran an 18.44. Ryan Kuhn, your 4th place car, an 18.39, so slightly faster. 30 laps is certainly time. We will keep an eye on that. Behind him, heating up for the 5th spot, Reagan Parent to the inside, and stop me if you've heard this before, Nick, Bob Eldred from deep in the field up to 7th and looking for more in the 13.
Yeah, Bob Eldred. Night got off to a really difficult start as you see Israelson's lap the wall there. Eldred's night got off to a horrible start. Lap 1 of the heat race, nowhere to go. The field wrecks in front of him, destroys his car, can't finish the heat race. Has to start from the back of the feature. Literally started dead last in the feature and has had to work his way up through the field. Here he is up to 6th, looking for 5th now with less than 30 laps to go. When you look back, when a champion looks back at all the races, the body of work of the season, how does a champion get there? That's going to be these are going to be the type of nights, if Bob Eldred does win this championship, that he will look back on fondly.
And we are under caution, Nick, with less than 30 laps to go here in the 9 of Ricker ran into some trouble. We're going to get a quick look at the replay here, see if we can figure out what happened to put us under caution.
See, he's running side by side with Joey Israelson. Oh, he's sideways on entry. Car just comes around on him. Whoa, Logan Powers just missed that.
Indeed, and that puts us under caution. And now, Nick, we're going to find out, because we are in an interesting spot here with 27 laps to go. on who may pit, who may stay out. We do see some cars coming in the back of the field, though, for sure, if nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to take your tires. I imagine pit road's a busy place here, and it sure is. Just about everybody's down there right now. You see Logan Powers getting some work done on the 31 machine, and a whole lot of other drivers down there as well, as Powers, Scott Dragon leaving the pits. I think we might have caught it just a little bit late. But yeah, I think just about everybody was down on pit road here. So it's going to be a shootout here. We're going to have 25 or so laps to go, and it's going to be a shootout. Everybody's got fresh tires. It's going to be just like the start of the race, but there's going to be money on the line here and points at the same time. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Everybody buckle in.
For sure. We got our pit strategy up now. We'll have to check that after we get everyone rolling to confirm exactly who came in and who stayed out. Our top four cars are the same as they were before, whether they just came off in that order. We will see soon enough, but the lights are out in the pace car, and we are getting ready to go back racing for what's not even a regular Saturday night feature at this point in the Goss Jeep 100.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting finish here. Watch that 72 car on the outside of row 2. What does he have left for him here? Ryan Kuhn has had a great day, worked his way up through the field. Can he make a charge at this thing? Richie Murray had some trouble hitting the wall. Can he get past Casey Beatty here? Will Beatty go out and score a win here for the second time this season?
Going to take one on the field here. Casey Beatty choosing the inside, unlike Richie Murray, who was choosing the outside when he was the leader earlier in this event. It'll be Beatty and Murray, two winners this year on the IACT season, and drivers who came into this event third and fourth in the standings. Then you have Kyle Goodboe in the 17, the two-time winner and number 5 point man Ryan Kuhn, Reagan Perrin, and Justin Prescott out of the back of the field up to 6 as we go racing.
Back to green we go as Beatty gets out in front. Murray there in second. But will the inside lane come in here with fresh tires on these race cars as Beatty takes the advantage away? Murray's going to slide into second. Everybody fighting for the bottom right now. Ryan Kuhn into the wall in the 72.
And Kyle Goodboe dove way to the bottom of the track there. Everybody able to keep it going, but you can see the fender punched in on the 72 car. We'll see if that affects him over the final 26 laps of this race. He has fallen back into the clutches of Reagan Perrin as Kyle Goodboe looks to the inside of Richie Murray for the second spot.
Goodboe underneath Richie Murray, and there's contact again between the two of them as Murray and Goodboe get together for second. Beatty's loving to see it. Murray's in the wall again in the 08 machine. Everybody trying to get every inch of racetrack that they can find right now with 25 laps to go in the Goss Jeep 100. That pay window is opening, and these drivers are going for it.
This is a case, Nick, of they take what you give them, and then they take a little more. And Kyle Goodboe has gotten himself up to second. Richie Murray seems to have settled down in the number 3 position. We'll check back into the second half of the top 10. You can see in the back there, it's kind of gotten pretty well single file through our top 10. Close first side-by-side battle on the track is for 11th between Matt Smith and Nathan Wenzel. But I have a feeling they're just taking a breath before they go at it again, Nick.
Yeah, you got to think right now is the time to set up your move to try to win this race. So we'll see, those drivers 5th, 6th, 7th place here right now. Try to, make something happen, get positions where they can, while the drivers in the top 3 just try to get to the point where they're close enough to where maybe they're just a bumper's length away from a run at the victory here in the final set of corners.
But, Nick, you don't have a lot of time to set it up. 21 laps to go, and our leaders are running laps just over 18 seconds. If a caution doesn't come out, this race will be done before you know it. These guys have got to get on their steel horses and roll here as you see Goodboe bounce off the wall of turn 4, and Murray closes back in on it.
Yeah, this battle for second is going to get really interesting here. everybody wants to be the guy that can go take a shot at Casey Beatte late in this race. Beatte with a 7/10 of a second lead right now. Goodbout holding on even with having hit the wall, because Richie Murray's also been in the wall a few times, as has Ryan Kuhn in the 72. So here we go. Less than 20 laps to go here, and the fight for second is on while Beatte runs away with it.
That turn 4 wall has been collecting a lot of deposits tonight, Nick, and one guy who has seemed to stay off it and has got the car to show for it is Casey Beatte. Checking back here, I had seen Logan Powers was looking to the inside of Israelson, but must have gotten loose and had to back out of it. Powers came into the feature as the point leader, but seems to have stalled out around that 10th spot, leaving the chance for Bob Eldred, for Casey Beatte and others to tighten this thing back up again heading into the final 2 events.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. You know, Beatte and Murray are both kind of in the picture on the outside right now. Ryan Kuhn in that conversation as well. And then for Bob Eldred and Logan Powers, the two guys that came in with a pretty massive lead tonight, that lead might evaporate as they run towards the back half of the top 10, and everybody that's chasing them runs towards the front half of the top 5.
And Eldred right now just fighting to hold on to the 7th spot is Ty Delphia trying to make a late run at it. The 13's going at it here for that number 7 position, allows Joey Israelson to close up. It's still all Casey Beatte at the front, and the 2nd through 5th place cars seem to have spaced out a bit. Bob Eldred starting to fade in the 13 as here comes Israelson underneath him.
Israelson's going to try to take the spot. Delphia there gets by him. Maybe they made a little bit of contact right there. It was real close. But Eldred cannot afford to lose those positions, because right behind Israelson is Logan Powers, who is the point leader coming into the feature tonight.
Indeed. Just over 12 laps to go in this one. Eldred able to fend off Israelson for now. We'll head back into our top 3 and 4. Again, these 2nd through 4th place cars just kind of nose to tail. I'm not sure if they're waiting to jump out or if they're just unable to jump out. But as they were, Casey Beatte holding a fairly steady lead, now approaching a 2nd, as next time by it's going to be 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these guys have anything for Beatte right now. He has just come out and stepped on it here on this last green flag run. I think right now these guys are just fighting it out for 2nd and trying to get themselves onto the podium. 2 of them are going to get it. One of them's not. Right now, Ryan Kuhn is the guy that's on the outside looking in from the money spot. So he's going to try to make something happen here. But you see, Beatte's just gotten himself out to the lead here, not doing anything crazy, managing that gap, 10 laps away from a checkered flag.
Indeed, and you can see them, the 2nd through 4th place cars all have that flat pancake right front from bumping into the wall. And you can see, Nick, part of the reason why, looking at this from this far chase view, is you see how the wall kind of angles like that off of turn 4, which does account for some of the popping up into it, but it is something you have to manage here. But as I'm talking, Nick, these 2nd through 4th place cars are closing the gap a little bit on Casey Beatte.
Yeah, they're getting closer and closer here. They got to make up some serious ground here in a short amount of time, but they've still got a chance. It's 6/7 of a second right now. That number's got to get way down from there if they want to have a run. You know, you want to be to the back bumper there with at least 2 or 3 to go to realistically be able to calculate your way and have a shot at getting the win. So they got to get going right now as we see perhaps here a battle for 5th.
Yep. Justin Prescott in the 04 going around the high side on Reagan Parent to take over the number 5 position. Prescott probably needs a caution to close in on our 4th through 2nd place cars, but the 04 Prescott having a strong run here late. We head back to the front, and the gap has stabilized with 5 to go, so you wonder if Casey Beatte was just backing it off and making sure everything was good with that car, because once the field started to close on him, he seems to have found a little something extra in the 45.
Yeah, I believe they call that managing the gap, right? Like, you don't want to get 2 seconds out in front of them, wear your stuff out, and let them reel you back in late. You want to just, kind of give them a little bit of hope, but then dash that hope. As soon as they start to make a gain, run away, put that foot a little harder on the accelerator, drive away from him, and now just 3 laps from victory for Casey Beatte as he goes for win number 2 in his title defense here in 2025.
The battle will be for the final 2 spots on the podium. Kyle Goodboe, Richie Murray, and Ryan Kuhn will try to settle it amongst themselves as they take the 2 laps to go signal. Barring something unexpected, it is all Casey Beatte in line to pick up his 2nd win of the year and try and set up a run at a back-to-back championship. White flag is out. Final time for Casey Beatte.
Casey Beatte, the 2024 champion, through turns 1 and 2 for the final time, back down the backstretch, trying to make a last-ditch run at winning a 2nd consecutive IACT championship. He's going to get it done. He wins at New Smyrna. The winner of the Goss Jeep 100 is Casey Beatte in the 45.
Kyle Goodboe takes 2nd, then Richie Murray, Ryan Kuhn, and Justin Prescott round out your top 5 finishers. Just 2 cautions in this one, Nick. They settled it on the racetrack, and Casey Beatte was the one who just had too much and brings home his 2nd win of the season and gets a little congratulatory bump from Kyle Goodboe.
Yeah, and you got to go back. You think about the race-winning move for Beatte was the move he made on Goodboe when he kind of bumped him up out of the way on the exit of the corner there. Did not made sure that it was not going to be a side-by-side fight down the front stretch, and that ended up being the move that won Beatte this race. Nobody could catch him after that.
Beatte pulls into the breast cancer awareness victory lane here at the new Smyrna Speedway. We'll wait for our top 3 to join us here in the broadcast booth. Looking at the rest of the top 10 while we do. Reagan Parent finishes in 6th, Ty Delphia in 7th, Bob Eldred 8th, Joey Israelson 9th, and Logan Powers rounding out the top 10. With Beatte picking up the maximum 75 points for winning it, it is going to be really, really close among our top 3 to 5 cars heading down the stretch. And we do have our winner, Casey Beatte, here in victory lane. Casey, 2nd win of the season. It's been a really up and down season for you. Some tough races, needing to sub last week, but when this 45 is on, man, it is on.
Yeah, when this RKM setup shop Ford Mustang is on, it's definitely a really, really fast car. We played the strategy early and just bided my time, making our way to the front, and it worked out for me. And then we just had track position on that restart, and that was key. That final restart, it was nobody could pass after everybody put tires on.
Yeah, and one of the big keys, I think, for tonight's race, Casey, was that turn 4 wall. It jumped up and bit just about everybody. I don't know, maybe you did it while you were off camera or something, but we didn't see you catch it once. Do you think that played into you being able to hold everybody off there on that last run?
Absolutely. That last run there, I was just, don't make mistakes. And I didn't, and like you said, I watched Kyle and Richie hit that wall countless times, and it just kills your momentum. So lucky enough to keep it off the wall and keep the right front clean and come home with the W.
Now, it may not have felt like this was possible a couple weeks ago, Casey, but after the events of tonight, things are going to be really close for this championship. How are you feeling about your chances of back-to-back with 2 events to go?
In reality, I had no clue that I was even close, especially after last week. I was lucky enough Kyle ran for points for me, but he had misfortune, so I kind of thought I was out of the picture. But if you guys are telling me I'm close, then I'm gonna give it all we got these last 2 weeks and see if we can come home back to back.
Well, there he is, 2024 champion Casey Beatte, trying to do it again here, and he's put himself in a hell of a spot to make that happen here with a win. His 2nd win here in the last couple of weeks here on IACT. Beatte getting back going here. Congratulations on your run, Casey, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir, and thank you guys for putting this on, and thank Justin and everybody over there for making this possible.
That was your winner, Casey Beatte, 2nd win of the season. And coming in 2nd is the guy who subbed for Casey last week, Kyle Goodboe, his 2nd podium finish of the season. another driver who's had some rough spots this week. But Kyle, this 17 looked really good all night for you.
Yeah, we were really good, but I think I just found that outside wall too many times, and we were just really tight that last run. But all in all, good run. Can't complain.
Yeah, and how difficult was the track? Was the passing tonight? I mean, track position seemed to be at a premium that we haven't seen all season long. And just the way that outside lane came in. How difficult was it to make passes out there?
Yeah, early on it wasn't too bad. I felt like I made all my passes on the bottom, but then late run I was tight, and it didn't help that I bent every component on the right front suspension hitting the wall. But yeah, we were able to pick through the field there on the bottom that first run, and was kind of just hanging on for dear life till the pit stopped, and then again right after the pit stop got wicked tight and was again holding on for dear life. So yeah.
But held on all the way to the runner-up spot. Congratulations, Kyle, and they're certainly looking for more big things over the last couple of weeks before we get into the real world racing season.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations, Kyle, and on to our third place finisher here tonight, Richie Murray. Richie, you seemed like you might have had the field covered in the first half of this race, but after that first restart there, you weren't able to get the drive off as well, and it just kind of seemed like the 17 and the 45 were just a touch better than you for much of the second half of this race.
Yeah, I got to lead a good bunch of laps, but I knew it was a matter of time before the cream rose to the top, and then I had to basically just the first 50 laps were manage the tires as best as possible and be ready for the rush once the field came through. Unfortunately, I didn't play it perfectly, so once Casey and Kyle got to me, I lost those two spots. But after 30 laps of riding behind them, it started to come back. If we could start these races on 70-lap tires and run with no tire changes, I would love that. I like long runs. That's great. But so once we put those tires on, I mean, all caution to the wind as far as keeping the right front on the car. Like, you just put as much wheel into it to get it to turn and then plant the thing for as long as possible. Nobody was passing because everyone was on throttle so much.
And do you think that had to do with just the top, only two cautions and the money stop came late in the race, so it kind of took a little bit of that second half saving strategy out of it, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. With everyone, nobody pitted until lap 70, and when everyone pitted, there was only 25 laps. It's essentially a heat race. So, and when you have old left sides and put new right sides on, it tightens the car up. No matter how much you save your left sides, it's going to tighten the car up. And then once you do that, any lack of bite that these cars had, that fixed it. But now you just couldn't turn on entry, so it was just move all your brake bias to the rear to get it to turn on entry and plant the gas, and hopefully it sticks.
Well, Richie, congratulations on a good run. Must feel pretty good after what was a up and down tumultuous day at Oxford last week for not just you, but really all of us.
Not even just last week. The past 2 weeks, I've been fast. I've just stubbed my toe too many times driving into people. So hopefully, the points are going to be close now because Bob and Logan didn't have as good of a day as me, Ryan, or Casey did. So it's gonna be a real close point battle now. I just need to keep my keep my nose clean and not wreck a bunch.
Well, we're all
looking forward to seeing it play out, and congratulations and best of luck to you these last two races.
Thank you so much. See you next week.
All right, there goes Richie Murray, our third place finisher here tonight. Michael, this was a fun one to watch, a big strategy race and a big track position race in the Goss Jeep 100 at New Smyrna Speedway. As you see our finishing order here, Casey Beatty gets the win over Kyle Goodbout and Richie Murray. Ryan Kuhn settling for fourth after having such a strong run. You almost think that he might have hoped that it stayed green there. We never saw that last caution. Justin Prescott with a good run through the field to finish fifth. Reagan Parent was sixth. Ty Delphia seventh. Bob Eldred was eighth. Not a great day for him on the points front. Joey Israelson ninth, and another driver, the points leader coming in, Logan Powers, struggles to a 10th place finish here tonight, Michael. And like you said, I mean, this is going to be really a five-man dance with two races to go.
Yeah, we're going to need to keep our calculators handy, our pens, our pencils, our abacuses, everything, to keep an eye on it over these last 2 races, and they are at tracks where some crazy things and some wild swings can happen, because next Monday we are at the Thompson Speedway in Thompson, Connecticut for 75 laps of action, and then we're going to wrap up the season 2 Mondays from now at the Nashville Fairgrounds with the Doug Ford Memorial 146. So a sprint and then a long distance shootout to close it with 5 drivers duking it out. Hope everybody is watching, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure is, and couldn't be more excited for the way this season's going to come to a close here. We're in the home stretch now, and it's going to be quite a championship fight. So we hope you'll join us next week from virtual Thompson Speedway as we make another stop up here in New England. But this was a fun one here today at the home of Speed Weeks, the home of the World Series, I guess you could call it, down at New Smyrna Speedway. We're going from one World Series to the other World Series, Michael.
We are. We're going from the World Series of asphalt racing to the World Series of speedway racing. Some people would say it's the same thing, but some people call tomatoes vegetables too.
They sure do. Well, that'll do it for us from New Smyrna here tonight. Congratulations once again to Casey Beatty getting the win for his number 45 Polson Lumber team. And we are on to Thompson next